So, you have a Beancan grenade, and you have a mine. Now, what on earth would happen if you were to combine these two things? Well, maybe not that. I put it to you, it may look something a little bit more like this. Today, I'm going to be starting a brand new series. A series I believe could be a fantastic chance for community and creator interaction, and it'll just be general fun all round. So, what is this series, I hear you cry? You've been gabbling on for 34 seconds now, come on, tell me. Rust is a game with huge potential. Such huge potential that there's no way in hell that we could ever see too much stuff. Think about it, how many times have you been sitting there and you thought, wow, do you want to be really great in Rust, a really great weapon or item or anything? This would really work, you say in your mind, but alas, it's probably never ever going to be added. Well, this series, I hope, would be a way for us all to be creative and have a lot of fun by making items that would probably work in Rust, fit the theme, and are just generally cool. And who knows, maybe Facepunch might pick up on some and think, hey, that is a good idea, let's bring it into the game. That's wishful thinking, but hey, never overlook the power of a very passionate community. So now you're probably thinking to yourself, LOLOUT, this is an interesting idea, but how on earth is it going to work? How is this going to be a video? Are you just going to say an idea and we comment and say, yeah, that's interesting, or that's not? Well, no. And it all stems down to what I do for my day job, and in my day job, I am a 3D artist. Some of you probably know that, some of you probably don't, but that's what I do. So in this series, I hope to be able to actually recreate or envisage some of these items we want in the game, and we can think quite closely and carefully about how these items would work, literally and gameplay-wise, and then I'm going to fully 3D model and texture each one and upload it to a site so all of you can go and view the full thing and make your own conclusions. In my mind, this just sounds like such fun. I've never been this passionate about a series in a long, long time. I think we could do a lot of good here. And of course, working so closely with the community and the fans of the game and, of course, my channel, we can create some really wacky and cool things. And even if they never even see the light of day in terms of Rust as a game, we can still see how they'd look and how they'd perform and be happy overall. Hurrah! Anyway, I've rambled for too long about what this is going to be. It's time just to show you what I'm thinking this could be. Starting with my first wacky creation, which is, of course, the Beancan Landmine. Filling a gap I think is necessary to fill. You'll see why in a second. I will explain all the other stuff at the end of the video, so if you're interested in contributing to this series or like the way this is going, please wait to the end of the video and check out all that information there. And so, without further gilding the lily, and with no more ado, I present to you Right, welcome to the demonstration portion of this video, and if you know anything about me as a character, you'd know that I only do things with the utmost respect and professionalism. That's just how I am, and so expect nothing less from this presentation, and I'm going to demonstrate to you exactly what my concept is and how I can think of it working, starting, of course, with a Stella can. Yes, I know, only the best beverages for a gentleman such as myself. So, imagine if you will that this is our Beancan grenade. This Stella can is our Beancan, right? On top of the Stella can, I'm just going to put my YouTube AdSense revenue. Just going to put that there. It's going to make a little base for us. So, imagine this is the Beancan. What happens next? So, on top of the Stella can goes the primer, which in this case is a Budweiser cap. Yes, I know. High budget, as always. On top of the Budweiser cap goes a glob of blue tack, because Rust is nothing but DIY. So there you go, there's your DIY. And into the blue tack goes a nail. Now this is a tiny little screw, but the one I'm going to model is going to have a massive, bent, rusty, nasty looking nail thing. So the idea is someone comes along, steps on this, pushes down into the primer, which then detonates the grenade beneath. But how is this going to work logically? How would this work in reality? Well, my idea is that about up to this level, there is a small little bag filled with black powder, explosive, whatever it is. And this is held up, of course, by push pins. This is rust. So, push pin in, like that, and of course there's going to be another 2. I don't have an excess of push pins, alas, but there's going to be another 2, and this is going to make, it's going to hold the charge in place, and below that, this will just be filled with shrapnel and nails and stuff. So when a person comes along, oh, what a lovely day, look at me, I'm in Rust, I'm a new player, haha, he steps on this, bang, it's going to set all this off and blow the nails all over the place. So it's going to be obviously an AoE weapon, and this is the worst demonstration of anything ever that has ever existed, and I'm just now realizing this. This probably won't end up in the video. If it is, my standards have dropped. Anyway, on to making the actual thing, and I promise you it'll look better than this. So, welcome to the modelling stage of the video. Very exciting, I know, and as such I've sped it up a ridiculous amount, so it's relatively painless for all of you to watch. Throughout this segment I'm going to kind of talk about why I think this would be a cool item in Rust, and why I think it would work as a new trap device. And my reason for that is a kind of anti-clan, noob-friendly base defense method. That's my thinking of it. Now, we all know the Beancan grenade is pretty much useless. It can sometimes work, but sometimes it doesn't, and it malfunctions all the time, and I think that level of randomness is really fun, and should definitely be able to be applied to a trap such as this. So let me tell you what I'm thinking in terms of crafting. I'm thinking it should cost 20 metal fragments to craft and only 40 gunpowder, and it has a stack size of about 10. Now, my idea around this is because obviously that's very cheap, very noob friendly. The mine will not work all of the time. Yeah, so if you've got a little 1x1 that's wood and easily raidable, you can just scatter these things outside in your garden, as it were, and the likelihood is one of them is going to go off if someone steps on it. Now, what happens to the ones that don't go off is completely up to artistic interpretation. For example, maybe one of them has a delayed fuse, like the actual Beancan grenade, so you kind of hear a click when you step on it and you have a little bit of time to get out of there and get out of the way of the explosion. Or maybe another one, you step on it and it only sets off the primer, so you only get dealt like 1 damage and get given a bit of a scare, but you're allowed to get out of there and, you know, avoid the thing. Maybe the mine even has a chance of going off upon placing, so when you put it down, you might accidentally hit the nail or something and set it off in your own face. That would be funny. That would be a little counter to it. Now, obviously, because the thing is quite small, I was trying to think of a way to allow people to spot this, you know, before they step on it, you know, give them a fair chance. And for that, I'm going to colour all the push pins. I'm going to texture all the push pins in a very bright kind of red plastic colour. So these things aren't invisible, and if you've got a keen eye, you can spot them. You know, the landmine is obviously a little bit more camouflage because it's brown, blends with the ground, but this is a little bit easier to spot. And that pretty much wraps up my idea around it. A kind of noob-friendly, A-OK way of defending your base. Very budget and, you know, strung together, but it's better than nothing. And if a clan comes and gets you, you never know, you could get lucky and down one of them fully geared and, you know, be set for the rest of the game, which would be awesome. That's a very noob-friendly thing. I'm not going to show you me texturing the thing because this video is getting too long as it is. Maybe in future episodes I'll show you if you want to see that. But obviously this was the first episode, so I did a lot of rambling at the start, which I won't have to do in the future ones. So here it is. Here's the final result. Here are some screenshots I've taken of it. What do you think? I'm pretty chuffed with how it came out, and I did some tests in an engine and had to look about how obvious it is to spot, and if you're looking, those red push pins really do pop out. And of course, if you check the description of this video, guys, you can go and view this thing in 3D yourself, spin around it, have a look at everything I've done, and, you know, yeah, just kind of see it. I also did a version that was placed in dung. Not dung, it's mud, but it looks a little bit like dung. I did a version that's actually stuck into the ground, as it were. So that's interesting to see as well. I'm really a fan of how budget and silly and strung together this thing looks. I worked quite closely looking at, you know, the art style that actually the artists in Rust do employ, and trying to emulate that to some extent, keeping the same theme and, you know, the same design. And it's a lot of fun making things to appear broken. It's a challenge because as a 3D artist, usually you're making things that look quite pristine, you know, a sword or a gun and everything has to be kind of cut into place and symmetrical and nice and new looking. But with something like this, this project or this series that I'm starting, everything I make is going to have to look completely fabricated and put together out of bits and bobs, and that is such fun. It's a great fun challenge, and I hope to be able to do more of this kind of stuff. So that concludes my video creating the Beancan Landmine. And now guys, if you could give this video a like and share it about a bit, that would mean so much to me. I worked my arse off on this, and I would love to see this series actually become something that unites the Rust community as a whole, and we can all see what our weird and wacky ideas would look like in reality and in the game. So that brings me on to actually how we're going to do that. How am I going to work with the community and build what you guys want to see? Because this isn't just my ideas, it's our ideas, and I want to really stress that. So currently, here's what I'm thinking. Everyone, if you fancy being a part of this series or contributing your own ideas, leave a comment with your idea in quite a good amount of description. And by the end of this, the next time I do one of these videos, I'll look at the most top-rated comment on this video, and I will craft whatever that is. Whatever that item or weapon is, I will 3D model and texture and do a video much like this, and we can see actually how it would look in the game or just generally in 3D. This would be an awesome way of doing it, I think. It encourages everyone to vote and keeps the community alive in the comments section, all that good stuff. By the way, I will say bonus points for anyone who gives extra detail, sends me an email of some drawings they've done, of how it could work in reality and in the game, that kind of stuff. Really think about it. This is an item that has to have a functioning purpose. It has to be really interesting and have some kind of level of reality to it. Obviously, I don't expect these things to be, one-to-one with real life, but an idea of how it could ever work in reality always makes for the better and most interesting designs. So thank you again, everyone, for watching this video and staying this far through. I didn't intend it to go on this long. It's gone on far longer than I intended. I thought it would be about 6 minutes, but we're on 12:16 now. So yeah, thank you very much, and I really, really hope to do this kind of thing again. Take care, everyone, and stay coy.